Bei Partien des Abends ist der Calculator, Mr. Kirk Bevins.
Well, now the weekend can start. Friday night on the European Tour. First event of 2019, and we have some exciting matches to come this evening. Pretty exciting to start with. Matthew Edgar getting himself a prime time spot up against a three-time Pro Tour winner, a former world master in Ratajski. Still to come tonight, we have the likes of Jeffrey Desvan and Josh Payne there meet next. Kim Huybrechts, Glenn Durrant's European Tour debut, Dimitri van den Berg, Steve Beaton against Raymond van Barneveld, and former Euro Tour winner Vincent van der Voort. That's all coming up tonight. And Dan Dawson will be in the commentary box later. But for now, joining me, Chris Murphy, is Paul Nicholson. Are you a fully paid up member of Edgar TV, Paul?
I don't know about fully paid up. I did sneak a peek at his Edgar TV on tour thing coming to Germany yesterday. It's different. And you know what I feel about things in darts, Murph? Anything that's different is good.
When he says sneak a peek, you mean you watched 2 minutes of the 6-minute video that he put out there?
How do you know?
Absolutely, you could not stomach anymore. I certainly couldn't.
I do find it a little bit, you know, of an acquired taste, let's put it that way. But the thing about Matt is that he's never been short of confidence, and he believes in his own ability. And I think to do some of the things that he's done in his life, never mind just on a dartboard, you've got to have confidence. And like I say, I applaud anything that's a little bit different. And I think tonight he's been given a very tough task, and he's up for it by the looks of it. If this is the way we're going to go all the way through Friday night, then yeah, you might want to not press that pause button or go to any other streaming site. Keep it at PDC TV. This could be good.
Crowd has multiplied significantly after the afternoon session. Edgar doing the right thing there, stepping back after an absolute flyer that was closer to tops than the treble.
He was looking at something like a fly buzzing around.
57, SW1, 92.
Not even entertaining the bullseye. Sometimes it's hard to see where Christoph's looking. Steely-eyed.
Matthew Edgar, 167.
And he didn't want to go bullseye for 10 and double 16 because Christoph goes for double 16 every chance he gets. Edgar will explode if he hits this.
60. Christoph Uruguay, 40.
Well, bearing in mind where his previous attempt at treble 20, that was like a switch from Edgar, so far below the treble.
On the first leg, Christoph Ratajski.
Concerning signs, but a weird first leg in which hit a 180, but then threw some darts so far away from the treble that, well, even I'd be disappointed with those, and Ratajski cleans up on double 10.
Well, maybe the star of Edgar TV has his problem right there. Consistency, and we've said that about a few players already today. The thing about Matt is that he has made a quarterfinal on the Pro Tour this year, the very Pro Tour that Glenn Durrant went on and won. We have got Glenn to look forward to this evening.
100.
But he hasn't qualified for any of the other European Tour events after this one, so he's got to find some form, find some consistency if he's going to kick forward with his career. He doesn't want to find himself, you know, having to go back to Q school again and having to start from scratch. That's not what players like Matt want to do. They want to start making progress.
96.
Yeah, it actually makes this a bigger match for him, doesn't it? Knowing that he's not in the next three. If this was event 4 and he knew that the qualifiers were coming up for the following ones, then it would be a different mental approach.
60.
He knows that he kind of needs to earn some ranking money here in Leverkusen.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Chris, because having 4 qualifiers before the first event has even started, it ramps the pressure on the players, especially when you're one of those players who wants to progress or they want to get closer to the likes of the match play, likes of the Grand Prix later in the year. It makes having a good start to the season even more important.
59. Matthew Edgar,
Well, a ton now in front of Edgar. No need to bother with 2 double tops, which is why he opted for treble 16, but didn't get near that.
Looked to me like he was going for treble 8. He had a couple of flyers in this game already. Ratajski is
60.
seeing the end of this leg already.
52.
16 then. It's a good guy for Matt. Used it perfectly.
Matthew Edgar.
I think it's important, as commentators, Chris, to say to the folks at home what is a good lie. Because for Matt, because his dart is so flat, when he gets the outside wear of that double 16, he can slide it alongside like that. That was perfect. With Christoph, and it's the reason I bring this up, it's very hard to understand what's a good lie for him.
97.
It's almost like he doesn't have a blocker dart. He doesn't have a way of building a score. He just sees a colour and throws toward it.
59.
Well, he threw close to the colour with each of those 3 darts, but couldn't find the treble with any of them. Edgar with another one here could apply some pressure.
135.
You and I both know, Chris, that dart players in the world have stars on their shirts, very much like footballers, for their teams, as to how many world championships they've won. Well, by my count, Matt's got 5 stars on the back of his shirt. I don't remember any world titles.
Well, if you head to his social media account,
127.
Edgar described himself as a 25% world champion. And I'm not sure that the arithmetic behind that equation, but maybe it's something we can ask him over the course of the weekend. 142 here.
Bullseye. Yeah, in that spot, I think that is a seasoned player. Because if you don't get the ball, you can lay up easily for tops and force the pressure on Ratajski. Good playing from Matthew Edgar.
He's going to get the chance to draw first blood in this first round match. Tops for a break. Double 10. That becomes double 5. Scratching around, chasing the doubles and not finding any of them.
These are the kind of chances that Ratajski gobbles up. Can slide this dart just over the top of that one. That's in. Double 8.
80.
He'll be disappointed after giving himself a great chance. This 5 is no gimme.
Nicely done. You can often tell with the first dart how central it is in the big part of the single number. And Edgar pulled it off and does get that break of throw. Mentioned some of his achievements, Paul. He's won Challenge Tour events in both 2014 and 2017. And in that quarter-final run that you mentioned, he did beat Dave Chisnell as well, who's been in fine form this year. So
yeah, that is a proper win. And after that, he beat Adrian Gray 6-0. I mean,
96.
Adrian came through Q School, of course. He's had a half-decent start to 2019. But to beat anybody 6-0, especially somebody in the last 16 who's obviously had a decent day,
57.
that's brilliant. His confidence must have been absolutely flying after beating Chisnell.
well, Edgar did also reach a last 16 at the last European Tour event of 2018,
46.
beating Joe Cullen, who's usually a very accomplished player on the Euro Tour stage.
Yeah, of course, that was in Göttingen. And he would love to be back in Göttingen quite a few months' time, because that's where the European Championship's going to be. If he's there, obviously he's had a pretty good European Tour season.
137.
Yeah, the Euro Tour, so important for qualifying for all events, but the only way to qualify for the European Championship. In qualifying for this, Edgar had 6-5 wins against both Willie O'Connor and Devon Peterson, as he looks for another one in there. And now the ball.
90.
I think that's what you call a good miss. Won't be if Ratajski gets 86. You get the ball. He can't. Giving a good rattle though.
Well, he got closer, but he's ended up worse off. And Edgar can open up a 2-leg lead.
Well, the thing about Matt Edgar is he can make you dizzy. He plays at a very fast pace. When he gets his rhythm going, he doesn't hang around. And he's one of those players where you have to physically stop yourself from being embroiled in a quick game. Players like Ricky Evans and Jelle Klaassen are perfect examples of this. If you're a deliberate player like Ratajski is, you can find yourself speeding up and not even knowing it. It can take you out of your comfort zone. Ratajski hasn't had a brilliant start to the season, but we are judging him on very high standards based on how he finished 2018.
Yeah, back-to-back Players' Championship wins without a tour card, let's not forget. This is his first season as tour card holder in the PDC.
Oh, that's ludicrous, isn't it, when you say that? Considering how much we've seen him on the European Tour and on the Pro Tour in the last couple of years, that is a ridiculous statistic.
Yeah, he bookended the season with wins, didn't he? One in the UK Open qualifiers and then 2 in the last 2 Players' Championship events of the year. Of course, emerged really on the Euro Tour in 2017, had loads of brilliant runs, reached the quarterfinals at the Dutch Darts Masters that year. Now then, would have been one for the YouTube reel.
I reckon that was in the 60 if the first dart wasn't. Great first dart from Ratajski. Aggressive second dart. Now he's got the bull again. He rattles the 25 once more, and Edgar sitting on tops. Got to go to the right. Now he's got, might have to go left. You can see from that camera angle he was completely blocked.
Ratajski didn't get a chance to tidy up the 25 in the previous leg, having missed the ball. Now he gets 2 darts at double 8. Needs both. And finds the double with neither.
He wasn't missing those back in October and November. Matthew Edgar needs to find his tops. He's blocked again. He needs to find a gap.
20.
He is livid with himself, but he's only got himself to blame because he needed to look to the right-hand side and find a gap. He felt like he could force it in, and it was impossible to do so. Talking to himself, Ratajski, and he misses. So Edgar this time has another target. Double 10. I think he was thinking about going for tops again. Well, next to it is double 5, and somehow
15.
tried to find it, and this is just one of those legs that you want to forget.
But it might be one that we look back and remember, because Edgar should be almost home and hosed in the match. If Ratajski can find double 2, which he has, there's only one leg between them.
Had to be on the 3rd dart as well, didn't it? They sting a bit when your opponent steals a leg off you on the 3rd dart. No hesitation for Matt, straight to the hockey. Here's one for you, Murph. When you're writing your articles for the PDC and you're constantly using the word hockey, you get tired of autocorrect making it ache.
Yes.
Well, someone's going to be aching after this.
Just the red underline as well can be quite annoying. There are a few words in darts that do that.
Anything in particular?
Sometimes difficult to work out which is the correct way to write the word bullseye.
134.
Ratajski,
that's another one.
The dart should have its own language, a bit like Klingon. This be another thing for our referee on the stage there, Kirk Bevins, to study. He's already a master of darting linguistics and train spotting linguistics.
134.
There he is, the Kirkulator. Whether this one gets Michael Smith, which these guys will probably feel that if they're going to get Bully Boy, it's probably a good time to get him.
Double 16 to restore that 2-leg lead. Finds it.
once again, like the first leg, just slid that second double 16 shot right next to that guide, and it worked really well. I think that was a very important shot for Matt.
It was a good recovery, yeah, from the previous leg. And would be a big win for him. We said the importance of this match for him in particular. Ratajski has qualified for 2 out of the 4 European Tour events for which qualifiers have been held, so he will get another go in the coming weeks. But Edgar needs to really rack up some prize money here. You mentioned, Paul, that he's got the habit of making players feel dizzy in the hockey, but he didn't have that effect on you, did he, very much? I just scoured the archive for your head-to-head stats, and a 4-1 advantage to the assets.
Yeah, the one time he beat me, he played very, very well, and I think it was in the last 16, wasn't it?
It was the most recent time, back in 2015 at a UK Open qualifier.
Yeah, that was a very good game, and Matt really deserved that win. Mind you, the one we played in Hildesheim, I give him a bit of a tousling that day. He played really, really well.
83.
Looking a bit Irish today, any Matt, with these new shirts.
Yeah,
he's having a belated St. Patrick's Day.
An interesting shirt, like the front doesn't belong with the sleeves. 80 for Ratajski, plenty of time to do it. And he's going to need a little more of that.
His doubling has been, well, say not the best.
Probably.
15% on doubles for Ratajski is, he could get better in his sleep most days.
I'm not sure what was going through his mind there, but he had to reset himself.
That's a good guide. Hasn't used it. That's an excellent dart. Look how central that was from the Polish eagle. The second eagle in a row that we've seen, because the German eagle, Ian Artut, saw him at the end of the afternoon session. Fortunately, he was taken out by Wesley Blazia. So his return to the European Tour was unsuccessful. Hopefully we'll see more of him in the coming months.
436.
We were just having a giggle off the air, weren't we, Murph, about Steve Beaton, who we'll see later on with Wim van Barneveld. They're undoubtedly taking centre stage. But Steve Beaton's Pro Tour form is kind of ordinary. And then he's qualified for all 4 European Tour events.
Well, kind of ordinary in the sense that it's kind of you to say it's ordinary. It's worse than that. Nothing ordinary about that from Ratajski, but yes, we mentioned the pressure that comes with having these 4 qualified before the first event, but none of that for Steve Beaton, who's qualified for the lots. And he is a man who knows how to qualify for TV events, that's for sure, and he's decided this year that the European Tour is the way to do it.
He's not wrong.
94.
The Beaton-Barney battle coming up in the penultimate match of the night. Stay tuned for that.
Go on, who do you fancy for that one?
100.
Well, we'll come back to that at the end of this leg, because you made a point that might be synonymous with it. As Ratajski goes up for tops. Had trouble on this double before.
71.
Well, Matthew's the kind of guy that when he hits a big shot, he will celebrate. He may have imploded if he'd have hit that 164.
64.
He has squared it up, just in case Christoph has some more trouble. If he doesn't, it's a level game. This one is tough to call, and a much bigger crowd tonight than we had this afternoon. A lot of boisterous folk outside the Ostermann Arena here in Leverkusen before we started, and almost the precursor to what will be a sensational Saturday. Never fails to deliver this tournament, because let's not forget, he's always here. Just to be in Dusseldorf, which was probably, if you spoke to 100 of the top pros over the last few years, they would say that was their favourite. They loved it there. But when it was moved here, people were sceptical. But very quickly, when we came here a couple of years ago, people fell in love with the place.
Well, to return to the point quite poetically, Raymond van Barneveld was the first winner back in 2012. And you mentioned about Michael Smith facing the winner of this match and saying it might be a good game for whoever does come through. presumably because of Smith's injury problems, perhaps a bit of fatigue with the Premier League roadshow going on. I think that plays into Beaton's hands tonight as well, because Michael Smith has got tonight off, but Rema van Barneveld is straight from Berlin to Leverkusen to play tonight, having played in the Players' Championships as well last week, which he hadn't been doing in previous years.
And having flown home from Berlin to the Netherlands, then driving here, which I think was potentially a little foolish. But who are we to say what to do? He's the one who's winning at the minute.
Well, Ratajski is on the verge of winning here and turning this tie around. And could go back to that fifth leg where Edgar missed all those darts at double. And that might prove to be the pivotal point in this match.
It's a tough dart. That was a very, very covered bed. And that's exactly what happened to Matt earlier. This is a game changer. This is huge. This is tops. And it was nowhere near. It hit the 20, but it hit the metal piece. That was a flyer. A little bit of adrenaline from Matt.
And he couldn't finish it off. And now Ratajski, and this is often his modus operandi, isn't it? He kind of lands the killer blows and the big punches. And he's done it again. And to add insult to injury, he does it last dart in hand.
Again, just when Edgar thought he was going to get another chance. The thing is, he can't say he didn't have a chance. He put that dart in the 60, that dart in the single. There was nothing in the way of that tops. He just threw a poor dart. Unfortunately, from 4-2 up, Ratajski has found the answers.
They had 9 chances to lead 4-1. Matt Edgar did recover from that well, but he's let that lead slip, and now is in need of a hold followed by a break.
58.
Or it will be an interesting interview with himself later on.
Maybe that's something I will tune in for. Ratajski's not the kind of player to show nerves or any sort of emotion during a match. He does have this characteristic celebration when he wins a tight match of putting 2 fists up parallel to each other. It was very evident when he had that classic against Gerwin Price at Minehead back in November. What a game that was.
97.
But when he was at Lakeside supporting his partner, Karolina Podgorska, he never seems so nervous, and all the time I've been watching him, he looked like a bag of cats about to be thrown into the river.
I've heard that quite a lot from professional darts players, so they'd rather be on the man on the stage and the man supporting the man on the stage.
It's a lot easier to play than it is to watch. Because you're in control, you can do something about it.
Well, Edgar's in control here, but not anymore. He now has to rely on Ratajski's miss. And he could have left himself handier there, and he plugged away in the 20 segment, but let's see if it even matters, because Ratajski is a third of the way to finishing.
Trying to say he was a 33% winner there.
Well, Matt Edgar could have had 100% of his darts at double.
Was that in? It made an impression.
Looked like it was.
That was really odd.
Perhaps connected with the bottom part of the wire. The stanchion of the double 16. And Ratajski, will he punish again with the final darts? It's not the final darts of this match. There may be a final twist.
He is having some sort of an argument with double 10 right now. But double 8 comes to the rescue of Edgar. And now Edgar has to find one more break of throw. Ratajski, on the other hand, one more hold. But he's had match darts he's squandered. And they are shots that he wasn't missing last year.
This has effectively handed the baton to Matthew Edgar.
Yeah, just don't drop it.
100.
Taking his time, resetting himself. Big moments coming up. He only mustered up 41 with his opening salvo. But that goes somewhere to restoring that visit.
That's what you want when you have a poor start. Beautiful last dart from Edgar to keep himself in touch. He knows that from 310, he gets 260s. He's going to be on, he should be on a 170. He might need them. He is going to need them.
But he needs 2 perfect darts now. He hasn't found a treble at all. Advantage to the Polish Eagle.
You were offered this scenario before this game started, you would have taken it. 6 starts from 181 in the last leg to get it done. You would take it.
Well, again, you feel that a 140 is minimum here. And he hasn't even left to finish after 2 treble-less turns. So Ratajski now homing in on a second-round meeting with Michael Smith.
Tops for the match. And he's left on double 10 again. Go on, Matt, if you put pressure on here, it's not a gimme.
Yes, he's had a tiff with 10s throughout this match. Be a rare occasion where he might like to see the first dart go inside if it misses. But he's happy to see it go in. Well, a fantastic opener for this evening's session at the European Darts Open. Edgar had plenty of chances, but in the end, Christoph Ratajski moves through to the second round. He'll face Michael Smith tomorrow. We'll be back with a matchup between Jeffrey Desvan and Josh Payne in a few moments' time. But in match 1, Ratajski beats Edgar 6-5.
Und wir sagen herzlichen Glückwunsch, Christoph Ratajski. Christoph, it's not very often that you can win a match in the PDC with a double percentage below 20%.
It was 20% on the double?
Below 20%.
No, it wasn't good, I know. But of course, the finish was good. I won, and I'm happy from this.
So just happy to be through, basically. Next round, it's Michael Smith, the bully boy. You played him 3 times. You beat him once already. Can you do it again?
I hope so. I hope this game will be different. This one. For example, these doubles, I hope it will be better because it wasn't good.
Er sagte eben, das ist nicht häufig, dass man mit unter 20% Doppelquote ein Spiel gewinnt bei der PDC. Er weiß, es war nicht gut. Er ist froh, dass er heute quasi mit dem Sieg davongekommen ist. In der nächsten Runde spielt er gegen den Bullyboy Michael Smith. Da weiß er, da muss er 2, 3 Schippen drauflegen, um da bestehen zu können. Hat ihn schon einmal geschlagen. Wir wünschen in der zweiten Runde viel Glück. Sagen danke, Christoph Ratajski.